Hello, and welcome to the Uncensored Journey podcast, a raw, unfiltered guide to truths that matter. We are diving deep, getting real about what it takes to truly transform inside and out. Ready for truth? Ready for transformation? You're in the right spot. I'm Cindy, and with me, as always, is Gabriella. Now, let's get uncensored. Hi, Gabriella.
Hey Cindy.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about myths and truths, our own truths, and what we've been reading about, experimenting with, as it relates to when to eat, what to eat, how to maximize nutrient absorption, and how to lose fat while doing it and loving it and not restricting what you eat too much. So, yeah.
Sounds
So, one of the reasons why I wanted to have this episode and to record this episode was because I am a lifelong learner about nutrition, and in the past, my weight has fluctuated quite a bit, and I wanted to get a better handle on it. So, I've done many different courses, nutrition, fitness, etc. But I know that you have also been on a journey with powerlifting and fat loss, and et cetera. And I wanted to pick your brain and see first, like, what's your experience has been? And then second, what has worked for you?
Sure. Well, I know I've said this on this podcast before, but I'm recovering vegan. I was a vegan for almost 18 years, and in that time, I accumulated a lot of health problems, a lot of fat, like less muscle, more fat. And my weight actually went up. And as we all know that muscle weighs more than fat. So the fact that my weight was going up, it was just a lot of fat. So I was like expanding in size and in weight, right? And I was like, but vegan's healthy. Like, why am I gaining weight? Somebody pointed out that I should probably be eating meat, and there was really no reason why I shouldn't be eating meat because whatever reason. So then I went on the paleo journey. I went from vegan to paleo with some therapy and like a lot of trial and error about trying to eat meat, because after almost 18 years, it was really, really hard to put meat in my mouth. But I did it, and I went completely paleo to the opposite extreme, right? And I was really restricting what I was eating in terms of like I wasn't eating any carbs, I wasn't eating any, so like no grains, no dairy, no little fruit, little nuts and seeds kind of stuff, but mostly just a lot of vegetables and a little bit of, and like a portion of meat. So it's like mostly vegetables, a little bit of meat, or a portion of meat, whatever. So I was still on my journey of like not in the meantime, I'm like, I'm doing CrossFit workouts and I'm powerlifting also. And I was not getting the gains. I was not losing weight. I was not losing size. So I wasn't losing, well, I was losing size. I wasn't losing weight. So I was gaining a little bit of muscle, but I'd always hit a plateau, and my size wouldn't change after that. So um, then I went on the fuck it diet, which was nothing's working. Fuck it. I'll just eat whatever I want. Then lost all of those gains because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing in terms of my body needing nutrition. So I started listening to somebody on a podcast, Dave Asprey, who like was talking a lot. He talks about a lot about nutrition, and he caught my eye with like the bulletproof stuff. And then he's been talking a lot about biohacking and things like that as of late. And I know you're interested in that as well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But so I started kind of playing around. I started playing around with a bunch of things, and things would work for me for a little bit of time, and then it wouldn't. And then my dad passed, and I was like, went on the my dad's dead, fuck it diet again, and then lost a whole bunch of gains again, but then got really serious again with it when I started back at powerlifting full time. And so like full time, meaning I go to the gym 6 days a week, and I have competitions scheduled. So that gives me like a goal to meet, right? So recently I've been eating um more like what they are calling like carnivore or like animal-based diet. So I've been eating what I'm doing now, and it seems to be working. So I have an in-body scale, which it weighs my total weight, my total fat, and my total muscle. And what's happening now is like my fat amount of fat weight is going down and my total muscle weight is going up. So though my weight
Okay.
isn't changing, my
Yeah.
total weight isn't changing, the
Mhm.
how it's distributed in my body is changing. And I can see physical changes, like my face is like slimmer, like my waist is slimmer, like you can see physical changes within my body. So there's that piece. So what I'm doing now is protein. Like women don't get enough protein. And when I was eating paleo, I was eating mostly vegetables and little protein. And so now I'm eating mostly protein and a little bit of everything else. And like animal, I'm eating good fucking fats. I'm eating avocados and butter. I make my own butter out of raw whipping cream. And so I'm getting the good fats from that. And I'm eating, so basically what my diet looks like now, which is giving me good things, giving me good results, is I get done with my workout, I have a protein shake. So I eat that around 11 a.m. or drink that around 11 a.m. I eat one meal a day now, and I eat my meal in the middle of the day consists of like 8 ounces of red meat. It consists of 6 eggs, some like fruit. So I either have strawberries or cherries or some kind of berry or oranges or banana or apple, some sort of low like glycemic fruit situation, but it gives me my carbs, right? Those are my carbs. And then I have, did I say 6 eggs? I think I did.
You did.
And then a fat. So I either have 2 tablespoons of my homemade butter or I have a half avocado. I've been using just like good like Celtic salt or some sort of like good quality salt. And that meal right there takes me a long time to eat because it's a lot of food, not gonna lie. But that meal right there, it fills me up for the rest of the day. So then so I eat that like around 2, 3 o'clock. And then around 6 o'clock, I have grass-fed Greek yogurt, grass-fed raw Greek yogurt. And I put honey in that and some berries. And so it gives me a little bit more carbs to help me in my workout the next morning. And then I'm not going to bed feeling like bleh, like I'm not going to bed filled with heavy meals. And I'm like, it's been great. I'm not hungry. I drink plenty of water. I drink at least a gallon a day.
Mhm.
I put salt in my water for electrolyte, that kind of stuff. So that's been working. And like I said, my scale is not, the total weight is not changing for me, but my total fat pounds is going down and my total muscle pounds is going up. And
Mhm.
that's really the goal that I'm looking for at this point. I had to kind of give up on or not give up, but like let it go, the total number on the scale, and focus on like how many inches am I losing and how much fat I'm losing and that kind of stuff. So um that brings us back to biohacking, right? So like I just kept playing and playing and playing with things until something worked for me. And this is what's working for me now. I'm not saying everybody has to do this way, but I do encourage people to figure out what works for you and your body and go for it.
Yeah, amazing. So, I know that in the past you mentioned that you do shakes too. Do you still do that or no?
No, yeah, I do a shake. I take a protein shake right after I get done with the gym. And my protein shake, I use this stuff called Naked Whey.
Mhm.
And it's literally just grass-fed whey protein, cocoa powder, and coconut sugar. So it's like it has some carbs from the coconut sugar, of course, but it's all like natural. Like there's not any additives, crap. There's no like stevia or artificial shit in it. It's just all natural stuff. Um and it gives me like I take double the amount, so it's like
Mhm.
I think 60 grams of protein. So I'm eating like 180 to 200 grams of protein a day, which
Mhm.
is what I need to sustain my, like everybody's is different depending on your weight um and your active level. And
Mhm.
so based off of what I'm doing, I need to build muscle because I need to be able to lift heavy things. So this is helping me with that. There's like a calculation you can find that
Yeah,
tells you how much
I
protein you need, but
I believe it's 1.1 pounds of meat to your weight or something like that. But anyway, you
oh,
guys can look at
I did grams of protein. So it's like take your weight and times it by 0.09. And that's how many grams of protein you need. It's like 0.09 or 0.08. Don't quote me on that because I'm not really sure. But my macros are all set up for me and I keep track of them. Well, that's a lie. I keep track of the amount of protein that I eat, and everything else kind of just like it just keeps me satiated throughout the day. The rest of the stuff, the good fats, the avocado or the butter, the like good animal proteins. I also use raw milk in my protein shake. I use half raw milk, half water. So I'm getting extra protein and all those and good enzymes from that raw milk. And of course the raw milk yogurt is grass-fed raw milk yogurt that I've been eating has also been helping with a little bit extra protein at night, but also has those good enzymes and stuff in them for me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So do you ever have high carb days, or do you ever shift the way you eat, like even for one day, to make sure you have metabolic flexibility?
Not really. I'll eat sourdough bread on occasion because it has all of the good, you know, like whatever's in it, the cultures and stuff in it. But I'll like have that with like some butter on it, or some honey to get some like a little bit of carbs. But I don't crave or need those carbs if I'm eating like how I'm eating. But there's also to say, like, I also want to say, like, I don't, if I'm like out with friends and they're all going to have tacos, I'm gonna fucking eat tacos, right? Or if I'm like on vacation and there's like some delicacy that I want to try, I'm gonna fucking eat that. I still am gonna live my life. I still live my life, but like 90% of the time I'm eating that way to build muscle and keep my body at a fat loss.
That's awesome. That's great. I love that.
Absolutely. How about you? Have you figured out, you talked about your weight fluctuating. Are you biohacking and trying to have you figured out what's working for you?
Yeah. I'm still working on that, to be honest. But for me, it's, yeah, just like you, I've kind of given up on the number itself, and it's more like, what are my inches? What are my measurements? How do I feel? What's my energy level? Et cetera, et cetera. But what I have been doing over the last maybe like 3 to 4 years now, probably for COVID, is at the very least, like, train according to my cycle. I don't know if you've heard of that concept. Have you heard about that?
No, I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, awesome. So Angie Lal, which is actually a devout student of David Osprey, she wrote a book called Biohack Like a Woman. And before her, I'm in the middle of reading this book now, which is amazing. She also talks about eating and working out with your cycle. So going based on where you are in your moon cycle, eating a certain way, working out a certain way, and doing certain things. And I've heard that also from Mindy Pelez. She's also huge on fasting and fasting like a woman, because there's so much information out there about fasting, about biohacking, but it's all for men. And there's very, very few women or very few resources that talk about how do you do it, like with the hormones that we have, with the cycles that we're going through. We're not going to get the same results as the men do, because we're more complex when it comes to our hormones and our genetics. And so we have to be more conscious of the things that we try and we do. And so, for example, the first, as soon as I get my period, I start doing high intensity trainings or things that focus on, that are low impact but burn fat. And so that's what I do. I work out for like a week doing that. And then mind you that if you're looking to get pregnant, what I'm about to say is not recommended for you. But for me, which I'm not interested at doing that right now or possibly ever, it works for me. So once your period is done, for the next 10 days, I weight lift. I lift weights, and I go as hard as I can and as intensely as I can. And then the last 10 days of your cycle, when all your hormones drop, I do yoga or I do walks, low intensity exercises, so that I don't raise my cortisol levels. I don't stress out my sex hormones, and I allow my body to get ready for clearing. And so with what I've learned and what I've been experiencing is that, you know, you work out in a certain way and then you fast also in a certain way, because fasting could act as a stressor, like huge stressor to the female body. And then you have the opposite effect. And we've talked about this on previous episodes, where you actually gain weight because your body's panicking and it's like, what are you doing to me? It's triggering these ancestor hormones and DNA, and it's like, you're starving me. This is danger, danger, danger. We're not ready for this. This is not the right time. And so that's when you gain weight, because it wants to hold on, your body wants to hold on to any food and any supplements that it could get. So yeah, I've also been following the Glucose Goddess. She's a biochemist. She's amazing. She talks a lot about how to manage your glucose spikes and your insulin spikes. And it's interesting because I've been driving a lot lately, and so I was listening to an Audible to the Biohack Like a Woman, and she brings up the Glucose Goddess, and it's fascinated me because everyone's coming together. Like all the people that I've been following, they're coming together beautifully one way or another. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because one of the hacks the Glucose Goddess gives you to make sure that you're not raising your insulin levels and that you don't have glucose spikes is to eat food in a certain order. And so you start with a little bit of greens so that you get some fiber in, and so that serves as the foundation for everything else that you're going to eat. And then she moves into the next order would be eating protein and fats. And then if you want fruit, or if you want a carb, to eat the carb the last as the last thing that you eat, so that you don't have that high insulin spike. And so Angie talks about that as well. And I've been trying it. It's quite interesting. It's fascinating. Some of the, I don't know, I feel great following that model. And if eaten in that order, it also manages cravings. Or, you know, you said that you don't have any cravings. Well, I don't either, right? When I eat a certain way. And so it's been quite the journey. It's been really neat. And if you guys are interested in biohacking like a woman, if you're a woman and listening to this podcast, definitely check out Aggie's book. It's a really good resource to have. And then if you're interested, just let us know. I have plenty of resources. But the point that I'm trying to make is that as a woman, it's good not to limit ourselves and listen to what may work for men, because a man could fast for, I don't know, 4 days, 5 days, and have amazing results. A woman, if she does it at the wrong time during her cycle, she may have the opposite result. And also her emotions and the way she feels are going to vary vastly. And it's not her fault. It's just not having the right resources, right? Not having the right tools and information to maximize that biohacking to your advantage.
I think we talked about here too. Thank you for sharing that. I think we talked about in this podcast too about fasting, and I had that experience. Dana White, the man who owns UFC, was talking about this 86-hour fast and like how all this stuff and how he did all like everything went great and he lost like all his water weight and he like lost weight and blah blah blah. And I did it and I gained 2 pounds. And I'm like, this is really stupid. But I think there's a lot of not acknowledging the fact that the biology makeup of a man and a woman are so different that when when people are fitness people or like nutrition people are talking about things, diets or exercise or fitness plans or whatever, they're not taking into account that our bodies are fundamentally different, right? Like we are like you had talked about hormones, like we like actively bleed and shed our insides like every month, right? Men don't go through that process, and so we need different things. I would venture to say we need more iron, we need more things because we're losing blood every month. They're not, but the same. Like my brother will like stop drinking soda for a week and he's lost 10 pounds, and I'm like counting my macros and working out 6 days a week and I'm like gaining weight. I'm like, what the fuck? But like in reality, like we're different. Our bodies are just different. I don't think we stress that enough. So thank you for bringing that piece of that up. I did want to bring up, you had said something about like how the order in which we eat things. And in the early 80s, I think it was actually 1980, the food pyramid came out, right? In America, I don't know about other countries, but in America, the food pyramid came out. And it like kind of turned upside down how we should be eating, right? So like it's very grain heavy, and then at the very top, it's like protein and fats, right? Or good fats. I'm not talking about like chips and soda, right? But I'm talking about like good fats, like avocados and the butters and like things like that. So I think that because if you look back like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and like even the early 80s, like America wasn't obese. America did not have the problems with all the health problems, all the diseases that it has now. But somehow our food pyramid got turned upside down. If you do a little more investigating on that food pyramid, like that's how they fed slaves. Like even in ancient, like biblical times, that's how they fed slaves to keep them weak and docile and like their brain function not fully there, right? Is to feed them full of carbs and feed them full of grains so that they could continue to be captive, right? So it's interesting to look at the history of diet and nutrition in America and how it's just I get it. It's cheaper to eat pasta than it is to eat a grass-fed steak. I get it. I get it. But at the same time, like what is that costing you in the long run?
Exactly.
You're gonna have to be paying. You're like, anyways, it's costing your health. It's costing you time and money and at doctor's offices. It's costing you like, I have family members who can't walk because of obesity. I have family members, like it's sad to see that, but like it's just this disservice of this food pyramid and like the nutritional, I'm using air quotes here, nutritional information that that we've been given is just shit.
That's an understatement.
I was trying to keep it clean.
It's I mean, honestly, it's evil. I think it's quite terrible. So yeah, no, you're preaching to the choir, and I think that everything is driven by profit, and us as consumers, we have the power to shift that conversation by not buying those products or boycotting them.
Agreed. And I think it's also a mindset shift for most of America because, we see like low cal, low fat, no fat, like diet or like zero sugar. And we're like, oh, we've been conditioned to be like, this is great for us. This is good. Like low fat. Yeah. But really it's just I had started to have to condition myself to be like, to those things mean chemicals, additives, and like shit that shouldn't be going in my body. It's poison. Like I associate low cal, low fat diet with poison, those labels with poison. So um it's interesting too, like the America's just this whole mind shift is gonna have to happen so that it's you're not thinking like we've been so conditioned to think that like animal fats are bad, animal products are bad, animal like I don't know, animal based diets are bad. But like, you know, my I come from a family of farmers. My grandfather's family were all farmers in like Illinois. And those people ate bacon and eggs and meat and potatoes and, you know, butter and biscuits, and they lived to be like 100, right? And then my other family who like lived who weren't farmers and didn't have those dense like those nutrient dense foods were dying at like 50s and 60s because they were just eating shit. So like what's better, right? Like I'm gonna go with the proven 100-year-old people versus the people that have been like who are fat and or who like died of obesity when they were, and these people are like 70, 80 years old still working out in the fields because they can, right? Like so the upside down world that we've come into in America with nutrition and what we should be eating, and the more the media keeps pressing this like plant-based diet bullshit, I'm like, fuck you and your plant-based diet bullshit. I'm not going to eat fucking Impossible Burgers. I'm not going to eat shit that has 800 ingredients. My steak, my hamburgers, they have one ingredient, cow. I'm good with that. Or bison. I love me some bison. But like it's got one ingredient. Like I don't want 25 ingredients and stuff. And then once you start looking up those ingredients, you're like, ew, ew, ew. Like it keeps getting worse and worse, right?
I know, it just gets worse. Speaking of that, also, you know, something that you pointed out, I think maybe in a private conversation or in this conversation in a previous episode, even if you have products that are healthy now, it's good to be mindful and to take a look at the ingredients on the back often, because chances are that there'll be some soy lecithin or some added product,
bioengineered ingredients.
Yes, some crazy like artificial crap that gets snuck in there once the product becomes mainstream or whatever, what have you.
Or sold to a bigger company. Like that's what happened with a lot of the things that I was eating, the products that were tried and true. Like Primal Kitchen, for example, that brand used to be fucking amazing. But a bigger company, I don't remember which one, but like a Kraft type company purchased them, and now it's shit. So I don't, you just can't, you got to just keep reading the labels or make your own. That's why I started making my own everything, is because I know exactly what's in it. I know where everything comes from. That's why I buy freaking raw milk from a farm, a local farm. That's why I buy, like, I'm trying so hard to, and also it stimulates the local economy too. I'm not sure. I mean, I live in kind of a farm town, so there's like fresh produce and fresh meat and dairy around me, but I feel like you could find it. Sprouts sells raw milk.
Really? No, I don't know that.
Sprouts sells raw milk. Raw dairy is illegal in 37 states.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm moving to Washington, so
here the reason I'm bringing that up is because raw dairy is illegal in 37 states. You know what's not illegal in any state? Cigarettes. But long story short is the raw milk companies now are getting around that with a very special for pets. So it's raw dairy and they just put for pets on there, and it's for human consumption too, but because it's being sold for pets, they can sell it in grocery stores. So Sprouts sells raw dairy. Coming soon to Sprouts will also be for pets raw dairy. That is human human consumption safe. And it's just
That's
it's
fascinating. Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna have to look into that now.
I'm not sure. I know California raw dairy is not illegal, which is really weird considering
That's interesting.
everything
Yeah.
is illegal in California. But raw dairy is one thing that's not, thank God, because I don't know what I do. I have to be buying it illegally, like under the table. But yeah, it's something to look out for, like trying to find the loopholes to things like for pets, right? Like you're gonna look at that and be like, oh, that's not for me, but
Actually,
I 100% buy raw dairy for pets
that's brilliant. I
and
love it.
drink it myself. Yeah, it's great. The oh gosh, I can go on and on about raw dairy and how great it is, but we only have so much time, right?
That's right. That's right.
It's, actually, I am going to make one more point about raw dairy is for years. So after I stopped being vegan and started eating meat again, I
Mhm.
tried to add some dairy back into my diet, but it always like instant like tummy issues. And I'll
Mhm.
leave it at that for the sake of not grossing anybody out. But like almost instantly, like my tummy would start getting like, ugh. And trying throughout the years again with some sort of dairy, like cheese or anything like that, or butters, like any kind of stuff like that. But I 100% could just drink a whole glass of raw milk and have no problems. I could 100% eat a whole like pieces of raw cheese and be 100% fine. My stomach doesn't, because it has all the enzymes that help break down in your stomach and help because my gut wasn't um able to take. Basically, when milk is pasteurized just means processed. So I stopped eating processed things essentially. So pasteurized means processed. So in the pasteurization process, what it does is it heats up the milk and kills all of the enzymes, all of the bacteria, but it's killing all of the good bacteria too. All of the good enzymes and bacteria that your body needs and that breaks down and like provides your body with the nutrition from that dairy. So
Mhm.
yeah, pasteurized milk is the devil. Raw milk is where it's at.
Excellent.
Or raw dairy, not just milk, but raw dairy.
Well, since we're talking about milk, some people use that as a snack. What do you think about snacking? Do you think the recommendation that you should eat every 2 or 3 hours is a good idea?
Um, I used to. I love snacks. I love chips. I love crackers. I love ice cream. I love all this shit. I love all that stuff. But once I started eating the way I've explained to you at the beginning how I'm eating, I don't want snacks. Like I don't have time for snacks anymore. Like I'll go the first couple of weeks after I started eating this way, I was like, dang, I would really didn't want anything. Like my body is just satisfied with because it's getting everything that it needs. And I think when we're snacking throughout the day, your body is not getting, it's missing something. It's like keeps looking for what it's missing, all the nutrient that it's missing. And you just keep snacking until you can find it. And oftentimes I'll speak for myself. I would just keep eating shit because I was like, oh, I'm hungry. But am I hungry or is my body missing nutrients? Turns out my body was missing nutrients. So now that I'm getting all the nutrients I need in the meal that I eat and the one quote unquote snack, which is like my little yogurt with honey and berries, my body doesn't want for anything. So there's no snacking.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how we've always worked, like I just as humans, right? Like cavemen weren't snacking. They were like going out working, killing shit or harvesting shit or whatever, gathering shit and bringing it back and like making a meal and having a meal. And like even my like ancestors well not ancestors, well I guess they're ancestors, they're dead now, but like my family of the farmers I was telling you about in Illinois, like they worked in the field all day. They came in and had a meal, like they had one big meal or two big meals a day and or two meals a day and like that kept them going like all the hard farm work. And so I'm figuring like if it's working, like it worked for them to do all that hard labor, like it's working for me to do my not hard labor, but my gym workouts, which I think are hard, but nothing
Here
compared to
they
like
are.
farm work. I mean, farming is damn, those people work hard, but and thank God for them too, right? Because they
Yeah.
they raise my cows that I eat, and I get my milk and dairy from. So shout out to farmers. I love you.
I love you guys too. Yes, I agree. Snacking is, I think it's another propaganda, misleading information that gets spouted out there. And it's terrible because you're constantly, especially if you're not eating, let's say you're snacking and you're snacking on junk food and highly processed food, you're going from one sugar spike to another. And like your body doesn't have any time process anything, to rest, none of that. Because when you're digesting food, your body's working very hard. And so if you're constantly forcing your body to digest, you're not going to operate at 100% and you're going to have quite a few symptoms. So
True. And if you're getting the proper nutrition in the foods that you're choosing to put in your body, you won't crave snacks.
that's
And also
right.
it saves you fucking money. Like I eat freaking raw dairy, grass-fed meats, like grass-fed raw dairies. Like I eat like quote unquote expensive things, but my grocery bill has gone down because
Mhm.
I don't need anything else. Like I don't
Right.
need all that extra shit. So
Yeah.
it saves me money too, which is a fucking bonus. But sorry, my language is bad today. But it's a bonus, but at the same time, like unexpected. I guess it's serendipitous. It's happy accident, right? But um, it's great. It's really great. And I think that's also another myth, right? Is like eating healthy is expensive.
Yeah, that is nonsense. It's nonsensical because anything that's whole food will actually be more affordable than anything that's processed or in a box or in a bag, etc. So,
I agree. And also in the long run too, costs like health cost and
mhm.
medical costs and like all that crap. Plus, if you're eating like the processed shit, you got to buy more and more and more because your body keeps searching for that nutrition and
Yeah, because there's literally
no nutrition.
no nutrition or
Yeah.
little to no nutrition. There's like, yeah, there's a fraction of what you could be getting from whole food. So,
Or nothing. Like what nutrition? Give me one nutrition value that chips have, like potato chips. It's got bad seed oils. It's got like rejected potatoes. Like it's got salt. It's got a but
it's
if depending on
all
the flavor.
terrible salt, not even the high quality,
Correct.
crappy
Correct.
salt, terrible oils, and the combination of carbohydrates with fat is,
And bad fats. These are bad fats that
yes,
don't get break
terrible
down in
fats.
your system. So like
Yep.
I eat, so you sit down and eat like even if you eat like a serving, which is 1 ounce, 1 ounce is a serving of potato chips, right? Even if you sit down and eat just that 1 ounce, like you're getting no nutritional value. It's high in calories, it's high in gross stuff, and like you're going to be hungry in 20 minutes because there was no nutrition to fill you up. Um, I I can stand on this soapbox all day long. I hate being lied to, and I think that's part of my problem with like um with nutrition in America. I'm just going to speak for America because I don't know how other countries work. But essentially we're being lied to. We're being fed this like plant-based diet bullshit. We're being fed this like low fat, zero sugar diet, soda diet, whatever crap. Like, and they're like, oh, here, this is good for you, or like low carb or whatever the case may be. Like we're being fed this bullshit that's just crap. Like you're just crap. It's crap. So you might as well just I guess you'd be better off just eating shit, like actual shit, because at least there's some nutrition in that, right? Coming from something.
Yeah. Well, you know that the standard American diet abbreviates to SAD diet, right? I find that incredibly humorous, and I think that whoever came up with the standard American diet um, may have done that on purpose because it is extremely sad, and yet again, we get to use discernment and to think for ourselves and take our
Right.
power as consumers and give it, give money to the farmers.
Absolutely. I wanted to make two more points and then you can finish up or wrap up, or we could do whatever you want. But the first point is that my digestion has been amazing. Like poops are great, like my stomach doesn't hurt, like everything is great. Like I feel like my gut issues are being fixed up. Like maybe it will even fix my is stuff that veganism caused me, like my cortisol situation or my hormone imbalance. That is the goal. But it took a long time to break it, so it's going to take a long time to fix it. I get it. Because there's no quick fix when you're doing things naturally, which is fine by me. Whatevs. So like the digestion piece is really big for me, but also when eating this way and meal prepping, I freeze everything. So even if I make like a meal in advance, if it's gonna be sitting in the fridge for longer than like 24 hours, I freeze it and then unfreeze it when like before I'm gonna eat it, because the longer the food sits in the refrigerator, it like just starts cooked. It starts losing its nutritional value. And so I found that freezing it instead of just letting it sit in the refrigerator all week. So like I used to meal prep for a week or like 5 days and it just sit in the fridge and I just pull it out. But now I freeze it and I pull it out that morning. And then by the time I'm ready to eat it at like 2, 3 o'clock, I just have to heat it up. And I heat it up on the stove or in the oven, and I don't heat it up in the microwave because that microwave zaps out all my nutrition as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, those are my last two really big points that I'm sure I can come up with a lot of other things. Actually, you know what? I do want to mention something else is mindful eating, right? So a lot of times, like for me, I'll speak for myself again, is that I get bored and I eat something. But I get bored and that's what I want to do. Like I'll go like look in the cabinet or look in the refrigerator and see what there is. And a lot of times in the past it would be like, oh, I'll just grab like some carrots, or I'll grab like something quote unquote healthy, like but carrots need dip, or vegetables need dip, or something whatever. Or so like, but just also for me, like, am I hungry or am I bored? Like, am I hungry or am I thirsty? Lots of times I'm just fucking thirsty and I just need to put some salt in my mouth, and or some good salt, like Celtic salt, and then just drink some water. So like being mindful of like what your body actually needs and not what you're just like conditioned to think it needs. That's
Mm-hmm.
been the mindset shift has been a big thing for me in trying to shift my body composition and the way I eat. So
Yeah,
food for
that's
thought.
huge. That's huge. And I agree 100%. Half the time, myself too, I'm usually bored and I don't actually need to eat, or yeah, like you said, I'm missing a nutrient. Yeah, for me, it's been trial and error because recently I've discovered that I was really, had really low iron levels, low absorption levels, and yeah, I was a little unnerving looking at those results and getting the information that I was getting from the MD, which by the way was little to no help. $3,000 later, and the best he could tell me was, why don't you ask your heart why you're having heart palpitations? And I'm like, really? Thanks for fucking nothing. Like, I have been meditating, I have been doing all these things, I am fucking eating a clean diet, yada yada yada. What I didn't know was that if I was having steak and then I was having a glass of wine right around the same time, red wine, or if I was having a piece of chocolate or right around when I was having my steak, I was blocking the iron absorption. And so all that red meat that I was eating, all that rich, liver that I was eating was counterbalanced by those combinations. And those are just a few, there's a lot more. And I actually have a mastermind class that I am sharing with the world, and you could find it on my website, where I go deeper into the importance of nutrient absorption and how to navigate it and how to educate yourself about how to make sure that you're absorbing all those nutrients. Because half the time, just like myself, we are unaware. right? Ignorance is bliss, but ignorance can also be to our detriment. So
Absolutely. One, I lied. I have more to say. I just want to warn people of the side effects of eating like animal based or like eating like nutrient dense foods for you is that my hair and nails are growing fast and my nails are stronger than ever. My skin is like freaking glowy. I don't have any skin issues. And also like I'm losing fat and my tummy issues are going away. So side effects are, I would say, great.
that's amazing. I love it. I love it. And what about your sleep?
Um, sleep has been good because I don't go to bed anymore full. Like I don't go to bed on like this really full like dinner, like after eating dinner. So sleep has been really good. I can fall asleep well. And also I found that I don't need as much sleep to feel rested because I don't know why, maybe because I'm part of it is getting the nutrients that I need. But like I'm good at going to sleep at like midnight and waking up at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and not being tired all day. It's great.
That's
So,
wonderful. Great.
yeah, it's great.
That's another beautiful side effect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll keep listing, I'll keep a list of all the other things that have been on the up for this, but so far those are the things that I've noticed.
Awesome. Yes, your skin looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom for us, Miss Gabriella?
Um, educate. Yeah, just learn. If anything that we've talked about on this podcast sparked curiosity, educate yourself, reach out to us. Between Cindy and I, we have so many resources and books that we could recommend and share and even have a conversation with you. It's amazing the things that you discover, and you have the power to help yourself. So use it.
Absolutely. Well, if that's it, just want to thank everybody for joining us this week. Please like and subscribe on all platforms, and you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Uncensored Journey. You can find me at The Worth Warrior on all platforms, and you can find Gabriella's, all the links to her social media at phoenixmedicine.me. Until next week, we'll see you later. Bye.